Hi, this is Chatboxing. I'm Sean, and I want to talk in this video about Andre Ward and the options that he has going forward. I did talk about this a little bit in the video I made last night with Sporting Icons, but unfortunately the microphone, my end, didn't work too well again. It sounded like I was recording from underwater. So I thought I'd make this video to go into it in a bit more detail, what I think he should do now, or at least what options I think are the best for him. All right, well, from what I've heard, there's three things that are being talked about. First of all, Adonis Stevenson, unification fight. I like that. I like the sound of that. Tony Bellew, cruiserweight for the WBC world title. I like that as well. And Anthony Joshua at heavyweight. I don't like that fight for Andre Ward at all. I think that's definitely a step too far. I think Anthony Joshua would smash him, to be honest with you. Now, Andre Ward is very skillful. He's got a very good boxing IQ, but at the end of the day, Anthony Joshua is just far too big, far too powerful, and he's got enough ring up. Anthony Joshua has an underestimated ring IQ, in my opinion, because of the way he can just use brute force to just blast people out. He's got a good brain, and he's quite a good thinker in the ring. He doesn't have anywhere near the experience that Andre Ward has, but yeah, I don't like that fight at all. I think Andre Ward would get battered in that. Tony Bellew, however, at cruiserweight, that's a different proposition. Now, I quite like the sound of that. Andre Ward, one of the things that people have accused him of in the past, one of the things that people have said that is lacking from his legacy, his career, is the fact that he hasn't really travelled to fight. Now, I think he's fought, all his fights in America, if I'm not mistaken. They fought Carl Froch in Atlantic City, which is on, I think, the east coast of America, and that's talked about as if that's like his example of travelling. Now, I know in terms of distance, obviously the United States is a big place, but still, that's not really, it's still the same country. So I think it would be good for him to travel to fight in a different country. Now, Tony Bellew obviously has a very big fan base in the UK, especially in Liverpool. The fight would make most sense to take place at Goodison Park, Everton Football Stadium, which is in Liverpool, where Bellew is from. It would be an amazing atmosphere. Andre Ward has a lot of fans in the UK. He's very popular. He's been over here a few times before. He was over here recently to commentate for the Chris Eubank Reynold Quinlan fight. Very well received. He was over here again as well for the Carl Froch to promote that. So yeah, there'd be a lot of interest. A lot of people would love to see him fight live. It would do good numbers on pay-per-view. So yeah, I think that's a very good option for him, and that would be a good box to tick for Andre Ward to go up in weight to fight for a cruiserweight world title in the UK. I'm not sure what the attendance was last time Tony Bellew fought at Goodison Park, but you'd be potentially looking at like 40,000 people, mental atmosphere. Yeah, that would be good. Adonis Stevenson. Now, I'd quite like to see the Tony Bellew fight. I'd like to see Andre Ward come and fight in the UK, but from a pure boxing perspective, I personally think the Adonis Stevenson would be more meaningful for now. Now, in an ideal world, that he could do both, but Adonis Stevenson has been, the WBC world champion for a long time. Now look, Sergey Kovalev for me was the man, the number one in the division, but Adonis Stevenson still had a claim to being the number one as well. I thought Sergey Kovalev was the best, but I wanted to see those two fight to really establish who was the best. Now, in terms of records and opponents, they've got a kind of similar record. Obviously, Kovalev beat Bernard Hopkins, quite an old Bernard Hopkins, but still good win, good performance. Beat Nathan Cleverly in Wales, decent opponent, decent, very good performance. John Pascal in Canada, again, so travelling on the road, people in their own countries, decent opponent, good performance. Sergey Adonis Stevenson beat Chad Dawson, obviously good opponent, good performance, very good performance. Beat Fonfara, Tony Bellew, decent opponents as well. So they're kind of similar. So Andre Ward, with that win over Sergey Kovalev, has made himself the man in the light heavyweight division, in my opinion. But I think he still needs to fight Adonis Stevenson if he wants to solidify his position as the number one. Now, I don't think we can just ignore Adonis Stevenson like he's a nobody, because I've seen quite a few interviews with Andre Ward where he's kind of played it down with Adonis Stevenson, talking about, oh, well, you know, he's in there for ages and he never fought Kovalev. He's holding the belt hostage. He's not really doing much and this, that and the other. Yeah, I suppose you can make that case, but still, he's definitely a major player in that division. And if you really want to establish yourself as a number one, I think you have to beat him too. Now, people talk about all this sort of pound for pound stuff. I've gone over this a few times. I don't like pound for pound. For me, it's just hype, marketing, bias, just parroting other people's opinions. So I'm not really into it. I do have like people who I think are like, you'd say they're the best in the world, but when you're talking about pound for pound as if this is like a factual title, then I think it's a load of nonsense. But a lot of people are saying now, as if this is a fact, that Andre Ward is the pound for pound number one, and you know everybody has to just accept that. If that's the case, then you know he should be able to prove that he's at least definitely the number one in his own division and beat Adonis Stevenson. That's what I think. You know, if you look at it like that, you know, having said that, if he goes up in weight, instead of fighting Adonis Stevenson to take on another challenge for more money in another country, then I certainly won't hold that against him. It's a bit like when Carl Frampton fought Leo Santa Cruz the first time. Now, a lot of people saying, oh, he's just sort of ducking Guillermo Rigondeaux, and they were like saying that. Loads of people were saying that. And I was arguing with people saying, well, he's moving up in weight, going abroad to take on a tough champion in a fight that he's going to be the underdog for more money. And people are like just disrespecting him, saying he's ducking this, that and the other. And I said, no, I don't think that's true at all. I think that's bollocks. If he was staying at that weight and just fighting people who weren't on the level of himself or Rigondeaux, fair enough. He didn't do that. He went up in weight to take on a tougher, or at least, a tough challenge, another tough challenge. So I'd see that as the same situation. I'm sure some people would say that Andre Ward would be ducking Adonis Stevenson if he went up to fight Bellew. Personally, I wouldn't. You know, don't get me wrong. I'd like to see the Adonis Stevenson fight, but if instead of doing that, he goes up in weight to take on a champion in the UK for more money, then you know I wouldn't hold that against him. I think that would be a good move. The Bellew fight would be a good one as well. It's a difficult one to call. A lot of people are going to say that Andre Ward would just sort of school him. I'm not convinced about that. I think the thing that the main or the best attribute that Tony Bellew has is his brain, his boxing IQ. He's got a very good boxing IQ. He knows how to win, and he's kind of, let's be honest. I mean, Andre Ward, as good as he is in certain things, he is quite a dirty fighter. Now, Tony Bellew is as well. I mean, we've seen Tony Bellew like get some low blows in when he beat BJ Flores. You know, people saying he punched him in the bollocks first. Do you know what I mean? So Tony Bellew is someone who's got a good brain, good ring IQ, and he can fight dirty. If Andre Ward like tries to use those kind of tactics, then Tony Bellew will meet fire with fire. He's not going to do a Kovalev like sort of complaining, looking for help from the ref, whinging. He's just going to, if you hit me in the bollocks, you're getting one back, son. If you're going to headbutt me, boom, have one yourself. That's how Tony Bellew would approach it. So, yeah, that would be interesting. He's also bigger than Andre Ward. He's obviously bigger, stronger. Andre Ward has an advantage in speed, advantage in skill. So presumably he wouldn't approach the fight in that way. He would be looking to use his speed, use his skill. I don't think he'd be trying to fight dirty against Bellew. If he did, then Bellew would, you know, repay the compliment. So that would be an interesting one. I would like to see that. Definitely from a UK perspective, I'd like to see Andre Ward fight in the UK. I think it would be a good feather in his cap as well. Not just to make him like a three-weight world champion if he won, but also having travelled to the UK to take on that tough fight in a big crowd. Yeah, that's what I think. The Adonis Stevenson fight, love to see it. I think that would be a tough fight for Andre Ward. A lot of people don't really give Adonis Stevenson the credit he deserves, in my opinion. They try and dismiss him. They say that he's a one-trick pony, that he's only got the right hand. I don't think he's a one-trick pony. I think he's overly reliant on the left hand. He's definitely over reliant on the left hand, but I don't think that's because that's the only thing he can do. I think that it's just been so effective for him so far that he's just, gone with it. I think if push comes to shove, he's got a few extra things that he can do, and I think that would be a tough fight for Andre Ward. Now the Tony Bellew fight, I think would be more attractive because I think it's a tough fight, but it has a bigger reward. I think the Adonis Stevenson is a tough fight, but it has less reward. Now, the whole thing of being undisputed these days is kind of losing its appeal, I suppose. There's a lot of hype in boxing. People just, sort of going up in divisions, moving around, picking this person, picking that person. A bit like how Pacquiao and Mayweather did. That's kind of the thing now. Like Canelo is obviously doing it, just going around fighting this person, not really just establishing yourself as the number one in that division. So yeah, either of those options for me would be good. If you decide to fight Tony Bellew in the UK, I don't want to see him fight Tony Bellew in America. That would be disappointing for me. I think that would be a missed opportunity. I think that would be a good opportunity for him to really tick that box in terms of his career. Adonis Stevenson, I'd love to see that fight as well. Anthony Joshua, yeah, I'm not interested in that. I mean, Sergey Kovalev's a bad man, but Anthony Joshua, different level. That would be, yeah. If he fought Anthony Joshua, then I would seriously take my hat off to the bloke. But I can't see it happening. If it does happen, I can't see it ending well for Andre Ward. So yeah, I've been talking for long enough about this. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and thank you very much for watching.